So what'd you think? You ever thought about that moment? I love this short film because you just want to stop Joseph, right? You want to say, hey, pal, come on, get with it. You got to think about this, right? And he's saying, oh, it's got to be perfect. And Mary's screaming, hey, it ain't perfect, man. Life's going to be turned upside down, right? Man's got to have a plan. Well, Mary's saying, hey, any plans we got been turned upside down, right? That must have been quite a moment, huh? I mean, in the vernacular, if you will, I think if I was Mary, I'd want to say, you don't get it, man. You don't get it. Get real, Joe. You don't understand what's going on here, huh? Yeah, that phrase, get real, man. It's like an accusation that you really don't know what life's all about right now. We don't know how that conversation went. But human beings haven't changed through the centuries, have they? Yeah, I can just see Mary finally having to come face to face with him and say, you're not getting this. All of our plans, this perfect life that you've put together, this, I don't know what Norman or Rockwell would be in Hebrew, but whatever he'd be, right? It's just not going to be that way. It's all changed, Joseph. You got to get real. You got to get it. Do you get it, Joe? But I think tonight it's not so much looking at Joseph that I want to do, but I want to look at God, and I want to ask that question of God. I want to say, does God get it? You ever wonder that? I mean, I don't know how that all would go, but with Mary, the angel comes to her and says, you have found favor with God. Favor is another word for grace. It's the same Greek word, grace, the undeserved love of God. When you do someone a favor, right, you do something they don't deserve. That's how we get the word favor. So Mary, you have found this undeserved love from God. And the text says that this kind of, something's going down here, right? Maybe she knew the story of all the prophets, right? They got that undeserved love and their lives were never the same again, right? Maybe she was immediately a little concerned. I mean, she heard about Isaiah, right? Got sawed in two, and so it goes, right? What's this all about? But he says it again. You don't have to be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. I wonder if she said, do you really get this, God, how this is going to change my life? Get real, God. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. Maybe she didn't even think of it. But she sure had her questions, right? How can this be? How can it be that this life that Joseph and we've made all these plans for? We got it all laid out. We're going to have 2.5 kids, and we're going to have a yard, and we're going to have 1.5 cats and 2 dogs, and it's going to be perfect, right? It's all changed. And the angel wanted her to just trust God because she was loved. After all, I said it twice, right? Does God get it? I mean, does he really know what she had to go through? She and her husband being ostracized in the village, and I know we don't think of Joseph very often, but when the angel came to Joseph and told him what was up, and he said, "Okay, I get it." But even before, he was not going to have her stoned. He was going to put her away quietly, seek a divorce quietly, and you can imagine a bunch of guys, you're just being made a fool of, Joseph, huh? And afterwards, oh my goodness, were they going to get married anyway? Joseph, are you nuts or what, huh? The heck's the matter with you, boy? All their lives are love. Is that what God's grace looks like in life? Your whole life is turned upside down. And you can't figure it out. You get ostracized. Get real, God, huh? Does he really get it? How about in your life? God says to you, he doesn't even use an angel, he says it to you himself, right? You have found grace. God's undeserved love is showered upon you in Jesus Christ. And he just doesn't say it once or twice, he says it again and again and again. But does he know what you have to live through? Does he get it? Or is he always on the outside looking in? Maybe he just doesn't get us. I mean, he's God. He's way out there, right? How could he ever relate to us? He just doesn't get it. Get real, God. Come on. You love us. Look what we have to live through. Why do those things happen? What's going on? Christmas is God's witness that he gets it. That he became one of us. That he took on our human flesh. That he knows what it is to go through the struggles and sufferings of our lives. Even our hurts and pains, even being deserted by friends and family. Even being ostracized by those who love us. Even knows the guilt that we bear sometimes. The shadows that we struggle in. He prayed once to the point of blood coming from his forehead, remember? He gets the frustrations and the disappointments. He even understands our death because he's been there. He went through it. Christmas is God's great witness that says, I am real. I get it. I've been there. I understand not because I'm God, but because I'm one of you. That's his message to you. And the same love of the Father in which he lived in and clung to, even in the midst of the cross, is the same love that he gives to you. It is enough to know that you have found grace with God. To know that his promises are sure for you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will somehow turn everything together for your good. And we in our sinfulness sometimes laugh like Abraham and Rebecca did, right? That you're going to have a child. What are you talking about? You know? But if God can bring good from the cross, if God can bring the greatest good that ever happened from the greatest evil that ever took place, do you think he can work everything together for your good? Even your death? Even your death? Could he somehow work that for your good? When you see him face to face, you'll know, won't you? God gets it. In Jesus, he's one of us. And he says gently, you have found grace with me. Don't be afraid. Whatever you live through, whatever you have to struggle with, whatever horrors come upon you in your life, my grace is greater than that. You have found grace in me. And I understand. And I will put my hand in yours, and step by step, we'll walk together every moment of this life, and finally through eternity. What did Mary say at the end of all this? Isn't that, she said, put that up for me. She said this, with God, nothing is impossible. I'm sorry, the angel said this. With God, nothing is impossible. And Mary said, may it be to me as you have said. This Christmas, when you see Jesus, when you celebrate the Christ child, this amazing miracle of God becoming one of us, remember his grace. Remember, he understands you. He's lived it. Remember this miracle. Nothing's impossible with God. He'll bring you through. And remember Mary. As God's Spirit touched her heart with his grace again and again, she could put herself in his arms and say, may it be to me as you have said. Put the blindfold on me. Just take my hand, because I know your grace. You lead me and I'll follow. Every day and forever. Amen. Now may the peace of God which passes all understanding keep your hearts and minds in true faith to life never ending. Amen.